What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, more specifically our Travel Tip Tuesday series. Today we'll be doing another rendition of how to maximize travel abroad in many different countries. Now my tip today is going to places where your money goes far. Now, I've been traveling for the last 4 years, on and off, because I was a full-time student and now I'm working a full-time job. So it's been really difficult for me to really save money and have money to travel. But if you go somewhere where your money goes far, you can travel for longer periods of time or go on trips that are cheaper, significantly. One of the major things we have going for us here as Americans is our currency is pretty strong. I believe it's in the top 10 of currencies in the world. When you go places, a lot of times the exchange rate is pretty favorable for us as Americans. If you're based in another country, this might not be the same, but you can still go to a lot of places where your money goes far. Today I'm going to talk about specifically 3 different locations or regions where your money goes really far with the American dollar. These 3 places are Eastern Europe, Central and Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Typically, these regions, your money goes very far in terms of hotel accommodations or hostels, food, transportation, destinations, you name it, is going to be cheap there. The only obstacle to living cheap in these countries is getting the flight. If you've seen any of my videos talking about how to get these cheap flights, you can see that linked right above. You can see how to get those flights for cheap. Today I'm going to talk specifically about a country that is near and dear to my heart, which is Colombia. Now, I went to Colombia about a year ago, and I went to 3 different cities. I went to Bogota, Medellin, and Cartagena. Now, what I can say is all 3 of these cities in Colombia were so cheap. I'm talking about food, great food. Look at this food. This was a $4 meal, and this has chicharrones, fried pork, steak, beans, rice, a fried egg. Everything is right here for $4. This meal right here put me on my back for $4. Hotels. Now I was staying in hostels, but all of my hostels were under $10. And I met really cool people everywhere that I went in Colombia. Destinations. All of the destinations that I went to were so cheap. Now, as a tourist, they are gonna hike the prices up a little bit, but for the most part, they were still relatively way cheaper than a lot of places that I've went to. Even transportation. Now, one thing I will tell you about Colombia, the transportation is spectacular. In particular, Medellin. They take pride in the cleanliness and the efficiency of their train system, or the metro, I believe they call it.
Yo, I never seen a subway this clean. Like, coming from New York, I didn't even know that they had people that clean the subway. Look at Shorty over there working, man.
Now, this has subways or trains. This also has these cable cars that go all the way up and down Medellin. Connecting the city. I'm talking about transportation on buses or taxis or Ubers. $3-4.
Heading on a bus, $3.
And the best part about being in Colombia were my flights in between cities. Listen, I'm not lying here. I flew from Bogota to Medellin. I want to say I got this flight for like $25. I flew from Medellin to Cartagena, no more than $30. Like, I traveled to different cities for under $30, both ways. Like, you think that it's expensive to fly because you're accustomed in the US, but if you go outside of the US and you travel in that country domestically, flights are cheap, especially in Colombia. Because how I typically travel on a budget, I was looking at buses. But I looked for flights, and I seen it for $25, so I had to get it. And my exchange rate went so far. I got paintings, cheap. Going to clubs, cheap. I got a jersey. I'm gonna show you my Colombian jersey. I got this Colombian jersey for $1 in Medellin. Literally $1. I don't know if it's real, but I got one for my boys, for some of my friends, my fiance. Everybody got a jersey going back home. Even in Colombia, I got a haircut. Now, I'm not too happy with my haircut, but I got a haircut for, I want to say $3 or $4.
I'm taking this immersion in culture a little too far. Like, it ain't my worst cut, but son shaved my mustache. Like, pointing on doing no more. I gotta learn some more Spanish.
Now, I haven't got a haircut in a little while, but in the US, barbers are charging 25 plus tip, if not more. I went to Colombia for a week and some change, and altogether, I only went there with $300. And that didn't even include my hotels. Literally, I didn't book anything before I got there. And I traveled for more than a week and went home with $100. So, going somewhere where your money goes far is a major, major key for traveling for longer periods of time or allowing you to travel, period. So, take advice from me. The real reason how I was able to travel to so many places is I go places where it's cheap. Simple as that. So do yourself a favor and go somewhere that's cheap. Stop trying to flex or go there and flex. It's cheap. So once again, thank you so much for checking out my Travel Tip Tuesday. It's your boy Chu. Really appreciate y'all for checking out. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week for another Travel Tip Tuesday.